Thanks for joining me to the Secrets of My Success series. Today we have the pleasure of having Kirsten Mueller, one of the rookies of this industry. In her first 12 months, she's written $500,000. I'm really intrigued to know what are her key ingredients to success. So Kirsten, you really have got an interesting background, and I'm sure the viewers out there on Fast Performance TV would love to hear your background and your story. Tell us a little bit about what you've done before getting into real estate.
So I had to join the army because I was a troubled child and unfortunately got kicked out of 4 schools. And my mum used to call me the devil child. So I really had to turn my life around because it was getting to a stage where my mum and nan had to sit me down and say, we're either going to put you in a coffin or you need to change what you're doing. It was a really, really tough decision for them to sit down and have that conversation with me, and they were both crying at the time, and that was my turnaround point. That's when I went to the army and made the decision to go to the army, spent the next 7 years there. And it was a life-changing experience. Did a couple of tours in the Middle East and one in Timor, and unfortunately got injured when I was in the Middle East. So I had to make the decision then to take another change in my career path, which I thought was going to be it, that being the army, and had to make a big decision in terms of what I was going to do next. And that's where real estate sort of just jumped out at me.
So after your background in the army, Kirst, why real estate?
To be honest, everyone asks me that question. I don't know why. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. I'm a really, really firm believer of that. I had to go through a bunch of courses, TAFE courses, because all I had was my year 10. I only went through to year 10, so I had nothing behind me apart from a heavy rigid license. So I could either go to the mines or drive a road train if I wanted to, but it wasn't the direction that I wanted to take. I knew I was better than that. So for some reason, when I was looking at the courses with my partner, real estate just happened to jump out at me. I don't know why, I don't know how to explain it, but it just jumped out at me. And so from that point, I decided to pursue the course, got my full license over a 2-year period. It was really difficult doing the study because I was obviously still in the army and I was going through rehab and surgeries with my knees during that time period from my injury in the Middle East. So it was really, really difficult. But at the same time, because I was on a fast-paced base, being Townsville, I was at home only 3 months of the year. So the rest of the time I was studying outfield and trying to do everything I could outfield. So in between gunfights, I'd be studying. So it was, a bit of a rush. And I said, it's certainly a time I won't forget, being the study. That's sort of how I came to real estate.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Kirsten, you've had an amazing journey in the last 12 months. I mean, this has been your first 12 months in real estate. What would you say have been some of the key ingredients to your success?
Good question. Not wanting to fail. The amount of people that I saw in the army that would get out of the army and would be back there 6 months later because they couldn't handle civilian work, as we call it. They ended up back in the army. I didn't have that option. I was getting out medically, so I had no choice. I had to make this work. There was no way I was going to end up in the life that I was in before I went into the army, and that was certainly a worry for me, to go back into the area where it all happened and stare that in the face. My family were really worried. I was worried, but I overcame it, and I knew I'd never ever go back, and that's what made it all happen the way it's happened, and that's been my drive every single day. I just want to show people what I have to offer and the fact that I'm not that person anymore. The school teachers I've seen that still live in my area, and they've actually invited me into their homes just to sit down with them and so they can see the difference, and they cry. They can't believe how much I've changed and the person I am today.
That's fantastic, that's amazing. So failure was not an option?
Was not an option, never will be.
What advice would you give to someone who's looking at starting and having a career in real estate?
You have to have that hunger. You can't go in there thinking that we'll see if it happens and have any doubt in that picture at all. If you have any doubt in that picture, you won't make it. You need to go in there and know that you're going to hit this 110%, and you just need to hit the road running. Have no doubt there, just have the determination there, the will to succeed, and anything is possible. I've now shown that to a lot of people, and I love that people see that in me now, but it's not hard to get your mind in that place where it needs to be, so you really need to make sure that you're ready. Because when you hit that road, it doesn't stop, and you need to be prepared for that. it was a bit of a rude shock for me, and even today it's a rude shock for me. This work which I'm doing now is far more challenging mentally than I found being in the army. Far more challenging.
Wow. So it's all about clarity, just making it happen.
Yeah, you've got to have a clear picture. You need to have those goals in front of you every single day, which you've taught me. And I have to stare at them every single day. I need to know what it is I'm chasing. That's, as you know, that's the way I work. You give me something to chase, and like I always say, watch me run.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You haven't been in real estate that long, so to date, what has probably been your greatest challenge?
Acknowledging the fact that I've done what I've done. That's my hardest challenge right now, knowing that people look at me and say, wow, you've done incredible things, but to me it's just another job. I love this job, don't get me wrong, I love this job, but I don't believe what I've done, and I don't see it as a big thing, whereas for other people they do. So it's really hard for me to accept the fact that I've done what I've done and to move past that, if that makes any sense. I don't know how to wrap my head around all of this and how much life has changed from driving a Cat Tip to an Audi. It's such a different life, and to really wrap your head around that, I know it's people's dreams and this is what people want, and I'm making that a reality now. So to really understand that as a reality is hard to wrap your head around.
Finally, Kirsten, everyone has a definition for success. What's your definition of success?
I don't even know how. Wow. I don't understand it myself yet, so I don't think I'm the right person to answer that. I think being successful is just living your life to the full and living every day like it's your last. I think success is a word which is thrown around too freely nowadays. I think you've really just got to grab everything that's in front of you and just run with it and never ever take it for granted.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure.
Kirsten.
Pleasure.
Well, I hope you got some insights of certain people's success today, and you can join me next time to the series, The Secrets of My Success. I look forward to seeing you on Fast Performance TV.